I'm Brian Johnson, and we're back here in the Quarter Deck Club for another episode of Better Cocktails at Home. So we're gonna kind of do a real basic episode here. I feel like I've gotten away from the roots a little bit, so I'm gonna do an episode about making a very simple syrup, but can be used in a lot of different recipes. And so I kind of want to build off this a little bit. So we're gonna be making honey syrup today. It's super simple. Just like most everything we do is very simple. But you can use it in a lot of different recipes. There's classic ones like bee's knees, airmail, used in a lot of different tiki drinks, some newer cocktails that are really nice, like the Gold Rush. So there's a lot of different ones that it can be used in and kind of for that richness that it brings. So we're gonna make it. It's real simple. You just need a pot, a little stove, it's nice to do it, measuring cup, something to stir with, something to store your completed syrup in, honey obviously, and then optionally I usually put a little bit of Everclear in it at the end just to help it keep a little bit longer, and then a funnel for helping to get it into the bottle. So very simple. If you haven't made this before, I highly recommend making it because it's so simple. So we're going to get started. First off, we're going to start with 1 cup of honey. Hopefully we can get it all out. Eventually. I feel like I'm doing the pitch drop experiment. See, this is why you generally don't use honey as a pure ingredient in your cocktails, because it's actually really hard to get it to mix just when you're mixing up a cocktail, especially with ice in it. So what happens is you put it in, if you put just raw honey in, it kind of just like globs up because it's cold and it's very viscous. And so making honey syrup actually alleviates that problem because it becomes much more pliable. Oh, we're so close.
How close are we?
Very close. Gotta scoot back, buddy. You gotta go back, bud. It's our little helper. We're so close, I think. All right, that's close. That's about 3/4 of a cup. So rather than keep you waiting, we're just going to call it at that. Now we're going to put that into our pot. And all we're really going to be doing is heating this up. That's pretty much the sole purpose. We're not trying to boil it. We're literally just heating. Now I'm going to get a cup of water, or in this case, equal parts, so about 3/4 of a cup. Put that in, and we're going to heat this. So we're going to speed this part up so you don't have to watch it. But basically all you're going to do is warm the water up, well, the syrup, honey mixture, not boiling, just get it enough to just completely mix and integrate, and then you're going to let it cool and bottle it. So we're going to speed this next part up as we heat this. All right, so we are done stirring. And like I said, you just need to warm it enough so it all dissolves. All the honey is dissolved and becomes a syrup that you can easily pour. It doesn't take long, about 5 minutes maybe. Just heat it up, kind of stir it as you're going along. Very simple. And just remember equal parts, so 1 part syrup, 1 part water. For a home bartender, I find I usually make 3/4 cup to 1 cup or so, and that lasts me a good while. And then, like I said, I usually put a dash, maybe half an ounce of Everclear in, just something a little bit of proof to it to enable it to hopefully keep a little bit longer. And then that's all there is to that. So before I pour that in my bottle, I'm going to make a label. Now this is important, because if you're anything like me, you'll make something and then you'll bottle it and then you don't label it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, geez, when did I put this in there? And then you're like, I guess that was like 4 months ago. So always label it. I usually do the ratio with what it is. So honey syrup, 1:1, so I know it's equal parts, and then the date. So it's, geez, the 2nd, 21. And we put that on our bottle. So now we know what it is. We know when it was made, and we won't be confused. Now we take our syrup, and we'll let it cool if you want to. I'm pouring this while it's still hot just to get it done, but feel free to let it cool off a little bit. And then bottle it, and then you can use it in some of those mentioned cocktails. But it's a great substitute for simple syrup. It has a little more flavor to it, and I just really like using it when I have it on hand. So feel free to go empty out your honey, make a honey syrup, enjoy it, and we'll be making some cocktails using this. So until next time.